Pokemon! It's
summer! So this is a show on Netflix called Nailed It, and it's absolutely my guilty pleasure. The premise is that you put really bad home cooks in a contest setting and you ask them to recreate like some really fancy dessert or cake or something that a professional has made, and then you get these absolutely very funny and also kind of horrible results. And then you have to judge the winner on who has the least horrible results.
You're all terrible at what you do.
So long story short, I've been getting asked to make something from Pokemon, specifically Pokemon Curry. I think it's only happened like 3 times, but it's more than 0. So I was like, let's try it.
Honestly, whatever, I'm down for whatever. We could go see a movie, we could get lunch, we could kill someone.
I looked through the curry decks and I saw this particular image and I was like, oh my gosh, it looks so cool. If you read the description, it says it does not taste good. However, it looks really fancy. And I was like, oh, I want to make that. So today I'm having my very own Nailed It competition with myself and we'll be making the Decorative Curry from Pokemon. And I'm very excited for you guys to see what the final result is. I mean, you've already seen the thumbnail, so I guess you know what it looks like, but I still want to show it to you anyway. The first thing was to decide which type of curry I was going to make. Obviously, Pokemon is created in Japan, so I should make Japanese curry. However, it is not my favorite curry out of all of them. I think Indian curry, Thai curry, and Jamaican are much better curries, but I only had the ingredients for Japanese curry, so Japanese curry it is. Let's get right into it, starting with the rice. Rice is probably my favorite food and honestly the best carb in the world. I'm not arguing with anyone about it. I think I'm right because 60% of the world agrees with me and eats it as their main carbohydrate. Anyways, I looked at the picture of the Decorative Curry and I saw that the rice was yellow instead of the stock white that rice usually comes in. So I started doing some research until how I could actually turn my rice yellow. A lot of the recipes said turmeric and I realized I didn't have any turmeric. Some recipes said curry and I realized I had just used my last bit of curry on a different recipe. Some recipes said saffron and I actually almost lost it because do you know how expensive saffron is? It is literally the most expensive spice in the history of the world. It's more expensive than vanilla and a bunch of other things. So I kept on looking until I finally found this recipe. I think it was for like Mexican yellow rice and they said I could use some Sazon to turn it yellow orange. So I decided to do that. I'm using sushi rice because I needed it to be sticky for the shape and I added the Sazon and some turmeric into it before realizing that I did not wash the rice. So I had to dump out all the water, add the Sazon back in and then added some extra water. You can see it's already like this orangey yellow color. So when I cooked it, it came out like this. I'm not gonna lie though, I did add extra food coloring because it was more orange than yellow and I needed it to be yellow. And there is the Pikachu colored rice. So if we take a look at the curry, we can see that there's stars and there's hearts on it, and I'm not really sure what they're made out of. They could be radishes or potatoes or whatever. Personally, I only had potatoes in my house, so I chopped the potatoes up thinly, and then I used my cookie molds. I had the star shape as well as the heart shape, and I literally just went out and cut out a star and a heart in each piece until I had a nice little collection. Look at them in their little battle lines. I think they're so cute. This is Sparta! After the battle's over, I just combined them together, separated them into different containers, and then added blue food coloring to one and red/pink food coloring to the other one. Added water and let it soak for about like 5 minutes before boiling them separately, and here's what they look like at the end.
Cooking with the salt, chef curry with the pot, boy.
Now it's time to make the curry, and I made the most basic Japanese curry I've probably ever made in my life. I just chopped up some onions and some carrots. I tried to do the little fancy technique chopping, but I quickly gave up. Threw it in a pan with some hot oil, let the onions saute while adding some salt because you need your seasoning. And once that was sauteed and brown a little bit, I also added the carrots in there and let that start to cook down. I unfortunately did not have any chicken broth or chicken stock, so I just used some chicken bouillon, added some water and just let that cook down. I did also add some garlic because garlic makes everything taste better. I'm not really sure if that's actually Japanese or not, but garlic makes everything taste better, so I added that in as well. And then I covered it and just let it come to a boil. Once it was boiling really hard, I added the golden curry cubes, 2 of them, so it would get that nice extra flavor and thicken nicely, and that was the curry.
Avengers! Assemble.
Now it's time for the assembly. I just want to say that everything that could go wrong absolutely did go wrong. First of all, even though I used sushi rice and I made it soft so it would be sticky, it would not come together in the shape of an Eevee and a Pikachu. I kept on squishing it and arranging it, and every time it would just tip over and split, or the ears would fall off or the head would fall off. Like everything that could go wrong would go wrong. Like look at this. I finally got to this form, then the ear fell off, and then I was like, okay, look. And then the head fell off. I had to take a mental break. After my mental break, I realized that I actually ran out of seaweed snacks because that was what I was going to use for the ears, the eyes, the nose, etc. So I just had to cut up some lettuce that I had, and that's what I used to make the eyes. And then for the whites, I used some mayonnaise. And then I really didn't want to cut up my tomato, so I ended up using food coloring for Pikachu's cheeks. And you can just see me arranging the hearts and the stars everywhere, and they were all falling. Now for the curry. The curry was the most disappointing part because in the pot, it looks very brown. But when I poured it over the rice, it's supposed to make Eevee look brown. It did not make Eevee look brown. It blended perfectly with the rice. So yeah. And then I realized that since Eevee wasn't brown, I couldn't make the eyes, the rice around the eyes, yellow, so then I had to food color it, and now it just came out like this. But anyway, here's what it looks like. As always, first bite is for you, bestie. I chopped off the head immediately. Tried with the curry. Overall, it's pretty good. It's like basic Japanese curry, so it's like a 7.5 out of 10. The potatoes were like a little salty, and it was like the perfect accoutrement, a compliment. It was the perfect accessory to the curry. Overall, again, 7.5 out of 10. Would I do this again? Absolutely not. Actually, no, wait. Probably, yeah, especially if I could get on Nailed It. Nicole Byers, this is my application to be on TV in a full body costume. Yeah, I would love to be on Nailed It. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you didn't enjoy it, I don't know what to tell you. And if you have any suggestions for food you want me to make or things you want me to do, feel free to leave a comment down below. I love you all so much. Have a good day. Bye, besties.